so this is going to be a multi-part lesson on how to build piano accompaniments for your original song or for a cover song. So the very first thing you want to think about is the fact that you're playing a piano. The point of the instrument was that it was mirroring an orchestra. So when it was invented, the idea was that you could get everything from your bass players, your double bass players, all the way up to your violin section. Right? So that's the goal of the instrument, is you can cover the entire breadth of an orchestra or a big band. So anytime I'm thinking about creating an arrangement for a song that I'm accompanying or a song that I'm singing, I'm always thinking, how am I using this instrument to cover the entire orchestra? Right? Because that's the beauty and the power of a piano. I'm not playing a trumpet, I'm not stuck up here. I can use the entire instrument. Okay, so with that in mind, let's talk about, instead of an orchestra, let's put it in more pop and rock terms. Let's talk about a rock band. So first of all, I like to think about the low end first. So I'm going to start with bass. The bass player, boom, boom, boom. So if my chord is, for example, a C chord, and it's moving to a G chord, the very first choice I'm going to make is, well, what am I going to do with my right hand, and what am I going to do with my left hand? We're going to presume right now that you're not playing the melody in the right hand, that you're only accompanying somebody else who's either singing or playing the melody. So my very first choice is going to be, what am I going to do in my left hand, what am I going to do in my right hand? We're going to start with the most basic, and it works 80% of the time, and the singer you're playing with is going to be super psyched. Is a simple block chord in the right hand, so you're playing all three notes of the triad, and you're adding a bass note in the left hand. Now, so in the right hand, block chord, in the left hand, bass. Here's the thing, is that the bass player's job, number one, is to cover the root of the chord. And he or she is going to establish the tonality by covering the root. But they have other choices too, and they have other jobs. The second job of the bass player is to make sure that they're grooving, right? They are responsible for the groove, the feel of the song, just as much as the drummer is. So a lot of times you have to make a choice of, well, how am I going to play the bass note in the left hand? So, groove is important. You'll notice a couple of choices I've made there right away is I've said, well, I don't have to only play this C. I can go up an octave, or I can go down an octave, right? So that's the second thing. Think groove, and think, how can I vary that single note choice? Finally, as a bass player, of course, you've got options. You don't only have to play the root. We suggest you start with the root to establish that tonality, but then you can go off and play the other notes in the triad. So, what? So, bass player's got a lot of options there. So that's step one in your accompaniment. What are you actually doing with your bass player? Then you go to your guitar player. She's playing the chords.